Hey everybody, it's Ryan here from Android Coliseum, here to do my review on the ZTE Grand X2. Just got this guy the other day, and I've been trying to put him through its paces before I put a real review out, and I gotta admit, I'm quite impressed. Something about turning to a bit of a flagship snob lately in terms of I have to have a flagship G4, I had the G3. So getting these guys that are slightly out of the norm is kind of refreshing. So first off, yes, I've left the plastic on. Rob, you'll make fun of me for this, but somebody's going to win this phone, so I want to make sure it looks as clean as possible when they win it. So it has sort of that fakey, leathery looking back that's kind of plastic, and it kind of really reminds me of the Samsung Galaxy S2 in terms of that sense that it has that back. This can be removed. It just takes a little bit of prying to go around. Got a pretty large battery back there. Your micro SD and SIM card slot in there as well. Just so you know, this is available for only 150 bucks outright at Bell. So if you're looking to get one of these, 150 bucks will do you quite well. Micro SD, so headphone slots. So not that you need to know what those are, but capacitive buttons, which is kind of neat. Again, and that's why it kind of reminded me of the S2. The capacitive buttons, they're the home. Let me unlock it here. The capacitive, the multi, and the back button. And you can change that and you go into settings, navigation key. So you can change it back to the other way around if you're more of a Samsung user where you have the back and then multiple over that side. So it's kind of neat that it's that way. And then once we're turned on, it pretty much reminds me pretty much of an AOSP version. There's no funky skins that are on it. There's looks like stock Android. And in terms of apps that they've installed, there's a Bell app that's up there as well. Virgin if you're on that as well, but My TV for Bell. But in terms of apps that they've installed, only one. This My Note, My Moment. This is a note-taking app. Really good, very clean, very simple interface. Very nice. So in terms of specs, it's not top of line, obviously. It's a quad-core 1.2 gig processor. It's a Qualcomm MSM8926, but it's got 2 gigs of RAM. So it's got that over the Moto G. It's got 16 gigs of storage, which is kind of nice to have that in there, plus the micro SD. About a 2480, 2500 milliamp hour battery, so it's going to last you, fairly decent. Especially it's only HD resolution, 720p. It's going to last you a long time, that battery. And a megapixel rating of 8 megapixel, 2 megapixels. So really it sits about a Nexus 4 in terms of sort of specs and stats and features. But again, really neat and impressive how it actually handles. I put some Humble Bundle games on here to play, and it actually does quite well handling those games. Nothing super fast, nothing blazing, but it's going to handle just as well. Other things I like to play around with is, where was it? The camera app. I gotta admit, I would assume that this is just going to be a standard AOSP camera app, but it actually has some neat features that I thought were pretty cool. So you got your manual mode, fun mode down there. You can look back at other things. You can do video, change it if you want to do a selfie cam. But let's take a look at fun. I'll actually look at manually. Manually have some controls for just how much you want to play around with the grid, the gradiometer, what they call it, lights, ISO rating, and then just overexposed, underexposed. So kind of simple, but again, things you wouldn't expect out of a simple camera app, the camera phone device. So the fun mode, we have a panorama HDR, special effects. We can play around with, and again, live preview, which is pretty cool. So I just pick which one I would want to choose, CPR or whatever. We can do a smile cam. I think it has to wait for somebody to smile before it goes on. And then multiple exposure I thought was a really kind of cool feature. So you can do a simple multiple exposure where it takes 2 photos and sort of puts them back to back. We're going to do something called an alpha channel, background, all these different kinds of like darkness. So you capture 2 photos. And let's just capture another photo. And somehow I try to put those two together. And something to play with. I mean, that I didn't expect out of a quote-unquote a budget phone. Whoops. My bad. A budget phone, this thing actually handles quite well. I was quite surprised by it. So anyways, I'll have a full review on the website. I'll let you guys look at it there. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. And then good luck to whoever wins our week 2. This is week 3 giveaway. So take a look for that one. Thanks so much.